Yes, guys, welcome to your Chelsea versus Man United preview. We got some quotes from Egbhali I want to go through myself, give my thoughts on them, then we will get into the preview itself. So Egbhali spoke at the LA Congress of Sports event yesterday. And he basically said that he basically spoke about the model and the Maresca in Rosnia, the aim of this project, the tweaking of it, what will be happening this summer and onwards. So let's get right into it. Egbhali, on the model and adding ready-made players, he quotes, "The view was to recruit and build elite players that can frankly be together and have that stability in the squad. We're still in the 50th minute of the process, but the view is to keep, sign and retain and compensate and extend some of the world's best players, and ultimately the view was you need 8, 10, 12, 15 elite players. Win and win sustainably year after year." That first paragraph, I'm going to re-quote something so I can explain. The view is to keep, sign and retain and compensate and extend some of the world's best players. And ultimately, the view was you need 8, 10 to 12 elite players to win and win sustainably year after year. Let's list some of these elite players, and I'm going to critique and I'm going to say well done. So, my criticism is this. We have 5 at lowest, elite players. Players who are ready. 7 at the most. 7 ready-made players in this squad. Or elite, as they quote. Those players in my eyes are Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, Cole Palmer, João Pedro, Reece James, Cucurella. South for that is Colwill and Egbhali. But Egbhali's still young. Colwill has been out with an ACL injury. So players who are fit right now, those are the world-class players at our disposal. Reece James isn't fit, but he's close to fitness. So let's recount that. Colwill, no. Cucurella, Reece James, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, João Pedro, Cole Palmer. Sure, let's add Colwill as well. 7. Egbhali, 8, but Egbhali's only 18. He's not fully ready. So we have 8 at most, ready-made elite players, or who can be elite, or who are close to that elite column. Okay, so who are we signing this summer then to column that 8, 10, 12, 15 player elite player quote then? I better see Morgan Rogers, or I better see someone who is close enough to that elite category, who can improve our squad, who can help us improve and compete year after year. He then says, I think we've done a few things right, a lot of things right. We've got to be better on a few things, to add more ready-made players at this part of the project, to take it to the next level, to be consistent over time. Well done, you're spotting these mistakes you're making. Sure, we have Wesley Fofana, not even ready-made because he's injured every single time. He's a ready-made injury player. Sure, ready-made players. We had Caicedo, who you can call Premier League experienced. Played for Brighton for 2 seasons before coming to Chelsea. We have João Pedro, who's ready-made. Pedro Neto, ready-made, been in the Premier League for 8 seasons before joining us at Wolves. So we have these ready-made players, but we need more players who can elevate us. I agree. But what things have you done right? Sure, you've set us up with a good core. The core is there. The core is amazing. Okay, I like the core what we have right now. Okay, I do like it. I think the core is amazing. However, the key is also to not lose any of that core. If one player of the core goes, you replace it well. You get Adam Wharton for Enzo Fernandez, or you get someone of that similar stature, like Alex Scott, good squad depth, not a starter though. He then says, we recognise we need balance. We have world champions. We have Champions League winners. We have elite young players. Experience has developed now. The team has been together for 2 or 3 years. The objective is to keep your best players. Exactly what I said just then. And we've done that. And there's no intention to rebuild every 3 or 4 years. You tweak, remodel, you learn. You improve from mistakes. So here's my little jab at this. You now recognise, you've just recognised this, because we're 6th in the Premier League. We've not won in 6. The only one we've got in 6 is Port Vale. We got battered in the Champions League. Then we need more ready-made players now. Sure, I can see why you didn't really tweak in the summer. I can see that, because, we beat PSG. We won the Conference League. We won the Club World Cup. So, of course, you're going to be sceptical. Right? And sure, we signed João Pedro. Sure, we signed Hatter, who is actually experienced for his age. Really experienced. He's been playing since he was 17. Week in, week out. Sure. Garnacho, Premier League proven. To an extent, been in the league for 3-4 years, played week in, week out at Man United. Right? But we don't really have balance. Wesley Fofana would have been back, but he's injured every time. So, what? Caliber, good depth. Not Premier League starting level. And in the brief recently, they said someone who can be alongside Colwell. So Caliber's not that guy. Fofana is not that guy. They are looking at Van Heck or LaCroix. Get one of the two in, I'm happy. Because those two are ready-made players who are ready for a club like Chelsea, who can improve our squad, who can help us compete. And I agree that we shouldn't need to rebuild every 3 or 4 years because we're signing 35-year-olds. I agree with that. However, some of these signings are apparently being regretted and that they want to tweak it so they sign 25 to 28-year-olds. Okay, right. Next paragraph. Our goal is to have elite players on the pitch. Elite characters off the pitch that our fans can bond with, that will be at the club. That will be club legends for the next 10 to 15 years and beyond. I think generally we have been fortunate, not in getting everything right, but we do have a core of good players, global players: Cole Palmer, Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Levi Colwill, Esteban Willian, Reece James. I think he's just named a few, right? And then he says, the view is now that we're here with a great core to add some of that experience to take the team to the next level and have consistency. That fact is not lost on us, and we're at a point where we can take that next step, hopefully in the next year and beyond. I think we are fortunate to be having an amazing core, but you've given that core players who can't reach the level of that core. You've given them core players. You've given them players who are good enough for this football club. Players like Gittins, Garnacho. You've given them Jorgensen. You've given them Liam Delap. What makes you think Enzo Fernandez is going to go and say, it's fine. I want a wage bump, but I also want to leave. But also, what if this squad isn't good enough for where I want to be? I have high ambitions. Same with Cole Palmer. Same with Caicedo. Caicedo has signed a new contract. But surely there must be some thought going, okay, so we have a good core, we have a good first 11, but the depth is like, that's not going to help us. I'm sure some players are thinking that deep down in terms of the core. So, yeah, I agree that we should be having a squad who can stick together for 10, 15 years without the intention of rebuilding. I agree with that. But you've just given the global core, elite, young players who are not even at their standard. Like, you have these James, right? You have Levi Colwell. Levi Colwell has to play with Fofana, Saliba. An elite young player should be with a quote-unquote near-elite, ready-made centre-back to elevate the squad. I want to see that this summer. Now, he did speak on the Enzo Maresca leaving, right? And let me just get the quote up real quick, because it wasn't aggregated on Chelsea Dodgers, which I didn't actually think about before filming. And yes, this is a long video. So, when did he speak? Egbhali on Enzo Maresca's departure. Our policy has been no in-season changes. It's not a change we wanted to make. It's a change that had a bit of a negative impact in the season when you're changing systems and personnel, and it's one we've got to fight our way out of. So Enzo Maresca left because you didn't give him a centre-back, right? He also left because you kept criticising his substitutions, which I did agree to an extent with, actually. I do think subbing Gusto on a cam when you had Esteban on the bench against Atalanta, not the smartest thing to do. Right, but if you're not backing him outside of public backing or whatever, of course he's going to leave. If you don't give him a centre-back, he's going to leave. However, Rosinya comes in, and sure, I'm not Rosinya's biggest fan at the moment. I think he got off to a great start. But you give him a centre-back. However, that centre-back you give him was 19-year-old Mamadou Sarr, who Rosinya's barely using because he's only 19, and the ones above him is slightly better at the moment with a slightly older body. 24, 25, 26. 28. Torsten is getting more minutes than Sarr. That's what you've given them. You've given them a 19-year-old who arguably will make mistakes, hence why you don't want to use him in big games and key moments, and this is a key moment of the season. You've seen him stop Mamadou Sarr at centre-back against PSG, I believe both legs, if I'm not mistaken. Yet, you think, that's enough? It's not. It's not enough. I'm sorry to break it to you. This isn't enough. And if he didn't leave mid-season, he'd be our manager right now. We'd probably be in top 4. I don't know. But you've kind of caused this mid-season exit. You've caused it. As much as I want to say, well done, I'm going to give you your flowers. What flowers is there when you've just caused instability inside of the squad? And I will happily say, okay, that if we lost Enzo Maresca and brought in a Fagioli, I wouldn't be mad because I like Fagioli. I rate him really highly. If we got rid of him and brought in a Sivu, or probably not Fabregas, but like a Sivu, someone who has got experience in European leagues and someone who's played and managed in the big leagues, then sure. But you've not done that. You've gone with the Strasbourg coach because you've known him for 18 months. That was his words. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to cover from the Egbhali pressure, because realistically, what else am I meant to say? I'm just me repeating words. So, yeah, let's get on to this Man United preview. Man United lost against Leeds 2-1. They didn't look great. They've not looked great for weeks. They've had 3 weeks off. They should be sharper. They should be more ready than Leeds, who just made an FA Cup semi-final, 120 minutes, right? And they just gone and beaten Man United. Man United are not looking good at the moment. Man United are falling off. Michael Carrick has had a great start. He's not doing well at the moment. So Chelsea can look at this and go, we need to win this game. We need to put in a good performance. Will we do that? I don't know. Because what am I meant to be positive? And what am I meant to have belief? Sure, I'm pretty sure we'll beat Man United. And I've said this to my mate, Alfie, who I've spoken about a lot. But sure, I'm actually pretty confident that we will. But I'm not fully confident because I know that there's part of this club, part of this team who will get a bit incomplacent because they are having a rough patch, because they're not in the FA Cup, because they're not playing good football, and they've got a few draws recently. These players won't probably be up for it. Old Trafford, we remember that, right? Robert Sanchez's red card. Yeah, again, the only bit of confidence there's in me is Liam Rosenior tactically isn't the issue. It's him getting mentality across to the players. The winning mentality, what we need. Which I don't know what's happened to the mentality, actually. Tactically, Pep Guardiola said tactically there was no issue with Chelsea. It was the mentality of the players, which stems off the manager. So, I'm confident, just not fully confident. However, the squad I'm going to be building for this game is something what I've chosen because I feel like it's good enough. Chelsea must go into this game with a very good mentality. We must score first. If we score first, I'm confident we'll win. Concede first? We've seen good bounce backs when we conceded, but we haven't seen it enough. So let's get right into the team news. In goal, I've gone with Robert Sanchez. Who else do we have? Onto the defence. I've gone with Malo Gusto, Mamadou Sarr, Hato, and Cucurella. Hato was not the issue. Hato is not the issue right now. Hato defensively has made little to no mistakes. Hato has been amazing. Hato has been our best centre-back. Mamadou Sarr I need to see more of because I know he's a good centre-back deep down. And whether we go with Cucurella sitting in the back three or whatever will determine who's the central centre-back. And at the end of the day, I want to see Mamadou Sarr start. I don't want to see Fofana start. I don't want to see Talbot Ross right back in. I don't want to see Torsen. I don't really want to see Josat Champong, but I wouldn't be mad if he does start Josat Champong. I want to see Sarr. I want to see Hato. Fullbacks. There's really no complaints. I got no issues because we have no Reece James. So Gusto will start, Cucurella will start. In the midfield, I'm going to go with Enzo Fernandez. No, I'm going to go with Santos and Moises Caicedo. Enzo Fernandez is in the team, by the way. The reason why I've gone with this is because we need stability in the midfield, we need physicality, and we need good defensive structure, and Santos and Caicedo gives you that to a good extent. And I don't know if Lavia will be ready to start this type of game. However, if he starts Lavia, once again, I will not complain since we have really good midfield depth. In the 10, I've gone with Enzo Fernandez. That's his best position. He can win duels. He just can't really track back and defend at a good pace. Nor can he defend well anyways, but he has good duels, so him against like a Casemiro, I'm confident that he will win that 50-50. On the right, I've gone with Palmer. And on the left, I've gone with Egbhali. Then up top, I've gone with João Pedro. Palmer, Egbhali needs to start together. Now, whether we see Enzo Fernandez on the left again, like we've seen before, Palmer in the 10, Egbhali on the right, it could be that, and I actually think I'd rather have that, but still, it works. Either one works. That front three of João Pedro, Egbhali, Palmer needs to be ready. With the 10 of Enzo Fernandez needs to be ready. The back four of what Man United will field is weak. I will be honest, it's weak. So if we can have some technically good players in the starting 11, players who can make something out of nothing, I'm confident we'll win this game. Hence why I've started them front three. I do not want to see Neto, I don't want to see Garnacho. Sure, Garnacho might be ready for this game, might be up to start against Man United. But I want to see our best players on the pitch up front. I want to see João Pedro score tomorrow. I thought João Pedro wasn't awful against Man City, but it wasn't even his fault that the whole defence just collapsed second half. My score prediction, I'm going to go with a 1-0 win. Or do I go with 2-1? Because I felt we will concede. I'm going with 2-1. I think we will win this game. And I think Mark Goldbridge will go, oh my god, because he literally did just sell his whole brandings to The Overlap, the podcast of Gary Neville and Co. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace.